Hey everybody, this is just a quick tutorial on how to use Canva, Canva.com to create parent well wishes ads for the New Canaan High School theater programs. So you're going to go to Canva.com and then you'll need to sign up for an account. So you just plunk in your email, choose a password, and sign up. That's simple. So you're going to go down to create a design, okay? And then if you wanted to take, these are little tutorials that can kind of walk you through some of the features for Canva, but for now we are just going to jump right in and start designing. So we're going to go to this little Canva button up here, and we're going to create a design using custom dimensions. So that's this little link up here, use custom dimensions. We're going to put it in inches. And for this example, we're going to create a quarter page ad, which is 4 inches by 5.25 inches. Okay, and that's just automatically going to give us the correct canvas size. And I will have those dimensions also in the email for you for the different shows. This one in particular that we're designing for at the time of this tutorial is the spring musical of Into the Woods. So we are going to upload some images that I've already downloaded from some other websites. They are right on my desktop, so we're going to upload Phil Jennings. Okay, there's Phil. This will probably go a little faster for you, but right now because I'm running the screen editing software, it just slowed things down a little bit. And then we're also going to want to use this wolf that I got from openclipart.org, I should say. We're just going to start with those two. So I usually like to start with a frame. And I'm going to go ahead and pull in a frame that I also uploaded myself. It's called Curly Leaf Frame. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how you could place in a frame image that you got another place. So to resize, these little toggles in the corner, you can just click and drag and it will size it. One of the things that you can also do is if you want to change the dimensions, the aspect ratio, height to width, you press the shift key and then you click and drag and you can make it wider, you can make it fatter, like that. You can only do this with images that you have actually downloaded or uploaded into Canva, I should say. You cannot do this with the images that are on Canva already. So anyway, you can see this little cross grid in the middle that's showing me that I've got it centered. So I'm just going to release. That looks pretty good. Now, if I want to zoom in and really make sure that I've got that in, you can press Command plus or Control plus on a PC, but I'm on a Mac. You zoom in. Oops, that was a little too far in. And just oh, crud. I just grabbed it. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to grab the... How do we do this? Oh, no, I didn't know what I did. Okay, sorry. Just to make sure that we've got... It looks great, actually. So, zoom back out. So then that would be Command minus or Control minus on a PC. And now we've got this really great looking frame. Looks awesome. So, next I'm going to put Phil in. I'm going to size him down. He's a little bit big. I'm going to keep that aspect ratio because you'll see if I were to press shift and squish him, he looks ridiculous. So you can either just do Command Z, Control Z, or you can press this undo button over here, and that's going to undo your last move. And now we've got Phil. And now I'm now sort of feeling like this frame is a little bit heavy, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and instead I'm going to use one of the frames that Canva offers for free. So I'm going to go over to Elements over here on the left hand side, and there are lots of different free elements that you can use. They've got just a brief overview. They've got illustrations. Wherever they say they're free, and wherever they say they cost, they cost. They're usually only like $1 though if there's something that you saw that you really wanted. So for instance, if I wanted to say wolf and search, so all this stuff is coming up. Okay. I already have an image that's free, that's perfect, that I know I want to use, but just so you know that you can search and use many of, I think this one was, see, it's saying it's $1. So if I were to use that, they would charge you at the end when you went to go download it. But again, I've got my own over here in the upload section. So if I wanted to put my wolf in and then just size him down, then he's free because I'm not using their pay for images. Now, anyway, I said I was going to do a frame, so let's get back over there. Elements, I'm going to get frames. Okay, so there's illustrations, there's lines, there's shapes. So let's say if I wanted to do a circle, somehow maybe I wanted this to be behind the wolf, and let's give him a color. Let's make it red, and I'm going to send it this layer to the back so that he's behind the wolf, you know. Just so you know, there are those options. And also just a quick little lesson on layers. Layers are like, if you think of those old projectors that they used to use in the classrooms where they would lay those, I think they were called cells, and they were like plastic transparent sheets that had different transparent images on them that the light would shine through, and they layered them. So think of them like that those are each layers. So if I went back again, now it's behind Phil Jennings. Over here, it's behind the wolf. Okay? If I were to bring it forward, it's in front of Phil Jennings. Forward again, it's in front of the wolf. Again, back, and you can see where it is. See, it's saying it's in the middle. I have 3 different elements, so that means I have 3 different layers. So depending on how many elements you have, that's how many layers you have. But anyway, for now, I'm not going to use that shape. I just wanted to give you just a brief overview that they do have all of these great free options, and some of these are illustrations. Oh, I already showed you that. But for now, I'm just going to look at frames. These frames that have the little cartoon background, you would drag that, I'll just show you. You drag that on here, and then you put your photo inside of it like this, and then it's going to take on a funky shape. Okay, I kind of hate that, so I'm not going to use that, but just wanted to show you that you can do that. I'm going to just Command Z a couple times so I can get Phil back. There we go. I want to just find a frame. Okay, so now we're getting into some cool looking frames. That one's actually really neat. But so like this one, it's maybe a little bit deco, but just want to show you that this has these little side toggles, which means that you can adjust the width. You can adjust the aspect ratio on this. There are a lot of other graphics that you cannot do that with, and if you chose a frame that did not have that little side toggle, you wouldn't really be able to use it properly. So for instance, this one does not have those little side toggles, see? So if I were to go shift and then drag, well, it doesn't matter because it's one of their images. So you're going to want to look for a frame that's got those little side toggles like this one. Okay, so I'm just going to get it in there, and we're going to change its color. And just like with the circle, the color is really simple. It's right here, and I know that for the Into the Woods program, we're going to be doing black and white ads with one pop of color. So I don't really want the frame to be the pop of color, so I'm going to make that in some sort of shade of black. I'm going to press plus, and this is going to be a way to drag down the opacity and make it a shade of gray instead of black. And then I just click outside the box, and now I've got it to be this gray. Now, if you want to zoom in, again, that's Command or Control plus, and just make sure your border is right up on the edge there. And I'm just dragging myself around. So again, this guy could stand to go down a little further over here. Oh, and way further over here. You might have to zoom in to see that kind of fine detail work. But there you go. There's our frame. Looks good. Now, fill. I don't think I want... Oh, another important thing. I can't reach fill right now. Why is that? Well, that's because this frame, even though it looks like it's empty in the middle, is actually, think of it as like that clear sheet of plastic. It's in front, it's now on the top layer. So I have to send it back, otherwise I can't get to Phil or the wolf because they're behind it. So this is selected, the frame is selected, I'm going to press back, I'm going to send it all the way to the back. And now, when I go to click on Fill, I can get to them. So that's important to know about layers as well. So I don't want Phil to be my pop of color. So I'm going to make him black and white. Well, how do I do that? Easy. Go over here, Filter. We're looking for grayscale. And immediately, boom, black and white photo. How cool is that? I'm going to turn him on his side, rotate him. Let's say 15 degrees. I like that. Let him kind of hang off the side there. Cute, okay? Wolf looks good. And now we're just going to add some text. So we're going to go over here. This is our text tool. I'm just going to do body text. Add a little bit of body text. Drag it up. Oh, what are we doing here? I already have some that I'm going to just copy and paste in. Here we go. Double click. You can just double click to get inside the text frame. Highlight and delete. And type in, or in this case I pasted in, your content. And then if you highlight that, you can look over here. This little down arrow gives you lots of options. You can make it bold or italic, bold and italic, uppercase. Okay, so I'm going to unclick all of those, but just so you know, oops, there are those things. You can left align it, center it, right align it. I want it centered. And then another thing that you can do is text spacing, which I think is very cool. You can change the letter spacing. You can make them far apart or really close together. You can also change your line height. So it's a very powerful tool. I'm going to press Control Z on that because I do not like the way that that looked, but here we go. And lastly, you've got your fonts here. And it actually shows you what it's going to look like. So this would be Cabin Sketch. You know, you can play around. There are a lot of really cool fonts, right? For this one, I know which one I want already. I want these small caps. So I just think that looks great. And we're going to bring up that font size a little bit. And then you just have to click. So once you're in the box, if you want to be able to move it, you have to click outside of the box. And then you get the little 4 triangles. And then you can move it. Okay? It's really simple. And now if you wanted to add a little bit of body text, and I'm just going to copy and paste this right in there. Should be, actually that should, let's make that capital, Big Bad Wolf. Okay, and let's say we wanted to make them two different fonts. Okay, like the top line one font, the bottom line different. Well, guess what? You can't. You can do that in PicMonkey, but it's one of the few things that you can't do in Canva. So, just gonna erase it. It's okay. We'll make a separate text box for the second line. Not a big deal. Okay, I like that. I think it's cute. I like the size. And we're just gonna go over here and put in the rest of our, let's drag this out of the way. You can't see what we're doing over here, right? Get out of the way. Our favorite Big Bad Wolf. That's my cell phone ringing. Okay, favorite Big Bad Wolf. And I'm going to put it back to the other drop cap font that I had before. And then you can see these little, see, I wish I could point to you, but you can't see. And if I unclick it, it doesn't work. But when you're moving it, you see these little guides, these little blue checkered guides are showing you the different things that you're lined up with. So it's very helpful, I think. Anyway, that looks good. And then we'll just do one more little bit of body text. We're just going to drag that down here so we can see what we're looking at. And I'm just going to copy that out of my Word document here. Love, Mom, Dad. And then we'll have it return here. Kristen and Michael. We're going to make that same drop cap that I had before because I like that consistency. And this one we're going to make a little smaller, I think. Okay. So if I wanted to make this perfect, I'd probably play around with the dimensions a little bit more, and it might take me a little bit longer to get everything just perfectly laid out exactly how I want it, but I don't want to waste your time on that. You get the idea. There's lots that you can do, and you can tweak it in your own time, but oh, I did want to just show you this too. Let's say we wanted the color, our pop of color here, to be this wolf. Well, I could do that. I could make it red or pick a different color. Like it could be anything here. Like maybe it's a bright red, and then you could change make it closer to brown, make it really, really pure color. Lots of things you can do. But for now, like I could say, maybe I'll make that be my pop of color, or maybe I'm going to make that whole sentence be red. Which actually that doesn't look bad, but I wanted to make this wolf a color. I wanted that to be my pop of color. So in Canva, there are some filters that you can kind of, sort of get some color. They're not awesome, quite honestly. I much prefer, see now it's adding, this used to be transparent, it's adding this weird shadow, which I don't love. But you could play around, and you could probably get away with, if it's a line drawing, getting some other colors in there that might work, or I don't know. The blues. So, I mean, don't love it, but in a pinch, you could do that. But I wanted to show you in PicMonkey. So that's another photo and graphic editing software. It's PicMonkey.com, totally free. Although they do have some paid features, we're not going to be using that today. But I just wanted to show you that in PicMonkey, if you go over to design, you don't even have to log in to do this, which is amazing. You just go design, and then you go to this little butterfly. It's called an overlay. And your own means you're going to upload your own item, which is going to be the wolf. Going to open it, and you've got your wolf here, and we're going to size him as big as we can. And now, when you click on him, well, he's already selected, you have the option to give him any one of these colors. And you can change his opacity, fading him. You can change the intensity. I want him to be red, and I want him to be real red. So I kind of like that, maybe not quite so bright. I like that, okay? So that's a big pop. So just deselect it. Now I'm going to crop it because we made it a little bit bigger. So go over here for this crop sign, then you hit crop, and then you just drag out the size of what you want your canvas to be, and you click apply. Now, one thing I will mention, going through this process, you are taking what was once a transparent background and you're making it white. Not a big deal for our purposes, but if you really needed that transparent background, this would not be a good option for you. So anyway, go to save. Okay, give it a name. And we are going to save it not in Roger, which is not great quality, tiny file size, not in Pierce, good file size. We're going to save it in Sean, gorgeous but large file size. Save to my computer. Oh, Red Wolf Untitled. I don't want you to be Red Wolf Untitled, just Red Wolf. Okay, onto my desktop, save. Now, when I go back to PicMonkey, I'm going to upload my new wolf, which should be, there it is, right there on my desktop, and bright red. And now I'm just going to click on him. He's immediately put into my image, and now that's a pop of color. I'm going to delete my green one, and now I got a big bad wolf. Okay? So you get the idea here, right? One other thing that I did want to say is you could also, like Phil sort of seems maybe teensy bit unanchored, like he could use his own little frame or something. Well, let's just give him one. Go back over to Elements. We're already in frames, so that's good. Trying to upload. Sorry, again, slow computer. Let's see if we can get. I know exactly the frame I want to use. So hopefully we can get it to show up here. If not, we'll just pick a random one. Here we go. Now they're coming through. I want this one right here. And we're going to go ahead and give that a color. That black is pretty intense, so we're going to bring it down. Again, we're just going to drag it to a little bit paler. I still want it to be dark, but it's a nice dark gray. Now, remember, we turned our Phil Jennings picture to 15 degrees. So I'm going to select my frame, and I'm going to turn this to the same degree, 15. And now when I size this down, just drag it over. And again, I'll probably need to zoom in to be able to see what I'm doing here. This is some kind of detail work. And use those guides. They're great. They're really helpful. So this is showing me that somehow I got probably got my degree not quite right, which means probably when I released Phil, he ended up being 14 degrees and not 15. But anyway, an easy fix. And then now we might want to bring this back frame forward now that everything's all done. So we'll bring him forward, up, 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 up. There he is. And now we've got that frame running. You can see now the frame looks like it's over this part. You don't have to do it that way, but that's how I'm doing it. So anyway, we want to save it. Let's give him a name. It's already saved itself as Congratulations Phil Jennings, which was the first text frame that we put in. But we're going to save this as the last name of the student, which is Jennings, the size of the ad, which is 1/4, and saving, if everyone could submit their ads in that format, that would be so helpful for me when placing them, so I know who the ad is for and what size it is. So again, last name, ad size, either 1/4, half, or full, and then ad. So that now it's named. Now we're just going to click download, PDF for print. That is absolutely the format that you're going to want. Don't even try any of the other ones because it will not look good. Okay, it's downloaded. So let's see. Let's just drag this into my computer and see what it looks like. Jennings 1/4 ad. I think it looks great. So there you go. How to use Canva. Please email me if you have questions. I'd be happy to help.